Nearly 15 years have passed with no answers. Someone sexually assaulted and strangled Beverly Ennis Moore and left her body in the bathtub of her home in Hampstead. Now, I did a story on Miss Moore's murder just a few months after it happened. Well, now the investigation is getting a fresh set of eyes in the hopes of taking it off Pender County's unsolved murder list. This is where the crime happened, 2634 Sloop Point Road in Hampstead, where someone killed 52-year-old Beverly Ennis Moore during the day on Sunday, September 27, 2009. 5 months later, at that same scene,
this is where she was.
I spoke with the lead detective on the case, Scott Lawson.
She was a very giving person. She gave to a lot of people.
And with Ms. Moore's husband, Daryl. He's the one who found her body, sexually assaulted and strangled, left for dead in this bathtub.
I was hoping she was alive. I thought she'd OD'd. I thought something she took too many drugs or pills. She took pills, but that wasn't it.
The memory of Miss Moore lying in that bathtub, that's a memory that won't ever be erased.
To this day, no one has faced charges for murdering Beverly Moore. Fast forward now to 2024. Veteran investigator Bill Crowningshield is tasked with re-examining the evidence and trying to find the killer.
I do have several names in this investigation in which I have to look at and try to determine whether the person is involved or not involved, and I'm still in the process.
One name still on the persons of interest list is Daryl Moore, even though he passed away in 2020. The Moores had split a few months before Beverly's death.
I can say that he's still a person of interest in this case. To be able to determine whether he's not, I still have to go through the investigation, and I have not made that decision yet.
Another person of interest, the detective says, is this man, James Gorby. Gorby is serving life in prison for killing his stepfather, Roger Mock, in Hampstead a little more than 2 years after Ms. Moore's death. Weeks after the Moore murder, investigators released these sketches of two men seen in the area around the victim's home.
From what I read from the case file, that they were not identified, and nobody knew individuals that represented those sketches. So at this point, I do not know who they are.
Detective Crowningshield has resent several pieces of evidence from the murder scene to the SBI lab here in Raleigh. He's banking on advancements in DNA testing since 2009 to narrow the field of potential suspects.
And if profiles are developed for DNA purposes, of course, that makes the case a whole lot stronger. Now all I have to do is determine who belongs to that profile.
Until he gets those results, Detective Crowningshield will build on the investigation started by Detective Lawson and others 15 years ago, looking for that missing piece of the puzzle. But one thing from 2009 still rings true today.
I can't help but believe that there is someone out there who knows something. Someone out there has heard someone talk. Someone out there has a gut feeling about something. That's the information that we might need to put this case to rest.
Ms. Moore can't speak. Can't tell us who did this to her. But hopefully this investigation will. And if the investigation leads to an arrest, then that's us speaking for justice. But not just for justice, but for the family also.
The reward offered by the governor's office is still in place for the investigation into Beverly Moore's murder. It's $5,000 given to anyone who has details that leads to an arrest in the case. I've put the number that you can call with that information inside the story on our website and our news app. Christmas Eve morning, 1999. A 25-year-old married mother of four is working as a clerk in a Castle Hayne convenience store to help afford presents for the family for Christmas. She died before getting to celebrate the holiday. Nearly a quarter of a century has passed, almost 25 years since someone brutally attacked and killed Tara Tracy. Now, we've done several stories on her case, 1999, 2007, 2008, 2014, and now the case is getting another look in the hopes that December 24th won't always be a day that her family remembers a murder. 2 days before Christmas in 1999, Tara Tracy walked out of her house across the street to the Pantry convenience store. The married mother of 4 had taken a job there, working overnights to help afford presents for her family. But Tara would never make it back home. Around 4 o'clock in the morning, a customer walked in and found Tara's body behind the counter. Someone had beaten her and stabbed her several times.
I'm just in a state of shock. I really don't know what to say.
It's just a tragic thing. It's holidays. It's my grandson's birthday. And isn't this a terrible way to spend his birthday and spend Christmas?
We've interviewed Tara's family several times in the years since the murder. The hurt has never gone away.
They take a mother from her children, and that was wrong, and we can't get that back.
Tara Tracy's case takes up several binders in the New Hanover County Sheriff's Office Cold Case Unit. Many investigators have worked the case since that Christmas Eve in 1999. Now, in 2024, detectives Nick Lee and Steve Blissett are taking another look.
When we look into these cases, we know that this is going to be a marathon. It's not going to be a sprint. We're going to have to look at every piece of paper that's in this case file.
Detective Blissett of 2024 was Patrol Deputy Blissett in 1999, and the Pantry is one of the places he would regularly visit on the overnight shift. Tara Tracy is one of the clerks he'd check on.
At 2 o'clock in the morning, law enforcement officers, there ain't a whole lot to talk to. So you go to your stores and you get tired, you want a cup of coffee, you go in there and you get to know these people. And I remember her, and I remember having conversations with her. I don't think that she was there that long.
When he came on shift that morning, the Pantry had become a crime scene. Case files show a customer went into the store about 3 a.m. and Tara was alive. Another customer went in about an hour later and found her body. Back in 1999, the Pantry on this property didn't have security cameras inside. We didn't have DOT traffic cameras at almost every intersection like we do now. The person who committed this crime could have used Holly Shelter Road and been on I-40 in about 1 minute. Could have used Castle Hayne Road this way and been on Highway 421 in about 12 minutes. Or they could have used Castle Hayne Road that way and been on Highway 17 in about 15 minutes. Nobody saw them. 4 o'clock in the morning, 3 major getaway routes. They could have been gone like that.
And the time of day that it happened, 4 o'clock in the morning, there's not a lot of traffic on the roadways. There's not a lot of pedestrian traffic out. So there's not many witnesses that would have seen what would have occurred.
Investigators believe whoever attacked Tara Tracy had a battle on their hands. The autopsy report shows she had several defensive wounds and a broken fingernail too.
Yeah, she fought. I mean, we can honestly say that. There is no doubt. She put up a fight. And that's why it makes it hard that somebody needs to me, there's got to be somebody that saw saw something from who did this.
There is a lot of evidence in the Tara Tracy case file, nearly 25 years worth. What's missing, though, is the one key piece that can tie it all together and help solve one of the area's oldest cold cases.
Miss Tracy still has a family that deserves answers of what happened. We know that somebody out there has maybe a small nugget of information that we may not know that would help us.
I don't know if it's just a matter of somebody scared and all, but we're gonna keep going. Something's gonna come out of this. When I spoke to Tara's aunt, Ethel Greiman, last week, she told me that she has tried not to lose confidence in the fact that authorities will one day identify who killed Tara. And she says there's somebody out there who knows more than they've said about the case. And if that person is you, I've put a number you can call to let investigators know what you know
It's inside this story on the WECT News app. Chris Bryant's family has a lot of questions. They want to know who shot and killed him 5.5 years ago and why it happened. Investigators have exhausted all of their leads to this point, but they believe someone knows who pulled the trigger, and they hope the public can help solve this cold case.
To me, he was Superman. I'm not even gonna lie. I watch him take care of me, my mother at times, my sister, his mother, all in the same house, you know. And, you know, he had an unconditional love for me, you know.
Antonio Williams is talking about his dad, Chris Bryant. Bryant's life ended at just 49 years old, inside his home here on Bowen Blanks Drive in Columbus County. A family member found him on the morning of August 13th, 2019, dead from a gunshot wound.
They took something from me that, you know, I can't replace. Like, it's you can make up so many words and so many things, but they took something from me that just took a part of me.
Chris Bryant did have a criminal past, mostly drug offenses. Family members tell me they believe Bryant had turned his life around since getting out of prison nearly 2 years before he died. Whether that history played a part in his murder is still unknown.
Yeah, we have to take everything into consideration, but we also do not use that to judge the victim because everybody has a past. So we think it's important to consider everything that goes on with an individual, but not hold that against them because you're dealing with a human being. He didn't ask to be killed.
One of the first signs of trouble the family noticed was when they walked around the back of the house. This air conditioning unit was on the ground. The window here was open. That's how they think the shooters got inside. According to Captain Barber, a few possible scenarios could have played out. Bryant could have walked in on someone robbing his house, or the killer could have waited for him to come home. No matter the motive, Chris Bryant's killer is still on the loose. Investigators with the sheriff's office have gathered a lot of evidence in the case, but there's something missing, something you might know.
It could be something small. It could be just a witness coming forward and saying that, hey, I saw the victim here at this time frame.
The public don't always understand that those little things are sometimes really what break the case. Those little things are what tie this over here to this over here, and we haven't found that little piece yet.
The piece that could not only help solve a murder, but answer the questions and ease some of the pain Chris Bryant's family has had for years. For anyone who is hesitant to share information because they're afraid for their own safety, Captain Barber and Detective Sellers told me tips can be reported to them anonymously. Now, I've put a link to do that, and I've also put a phone number to the Sheriff's Office investigators inside this story on our website and news app that you can use to help solve this cold case.